Well, ladies and gentlemen, look what we have here. We have Disney apparently pulling a big move towards the changes from their diversity, equity, and inclusion sector and removing the criteria from determining a manager or an executive's pay. If you guys are unaware, one of the biggest stories that broke last year was the fact that Disney had paid their executives based off how diverse their teams were. I'm not even kidding. They would pay them more for how many non-white people they would hire or how many non-straight people they would hire. It was one of the biggest stories, and it continues to be an issue in a lot of corporate environments where executives are getting bonuses. They're getting paid to push this nonsense because at the end of the day, they don't really care about diversity. They don't care about equity and inclusion. They only care about lining their pockets. And if you have DEI investors that are feeding a company money and having certain requirements for that money, they're going to bend over and take it as long as they get paid. But apparently now, ladies and gentlemen, looks like that money might either be drying up or, quite frankly, what I truly believe is happening is that money is being shifted from one place to another. Right now, the word diversity is a very dirty word for a lot of these companies, and they are changing their policies. They are changing tune. They're trying to shift away and become ultimately what they really want to become, which is bridge. So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So again, article from That Part Place says Disney removes diversity from criteria determining manager pay. Latest DEI overhaul suggests major shift, but leaves questions unanswered. Now, everybody knows that Bob Iger's time at Disney is pretty much up. They are currently looking for a new successor for Disney. As of right now, they don't have one. But Bob Iger is going to go down in his legacy as being the CEO behind Disney that led it into its eventual doom. I mean, Disney as a whole is nowhere near what it used to be. Unfortunately for them, they are not profiting that much off of their entertainment sector, although they did have one or two wins in terms of the the box office, but ultimately they lost over $1 billion in the box office. It was absolutely disgusting, but it can be subsidized by how much money they make in their parks, although now lately they've also been losing money in their parks also. It's a bloodbath right now for Disney. But again, Disney is a super old company, has so much money from so many different places, right? Disney has a lot of real estate for people that don't even know that. And Disney has invested in real estate to give them a portfolio of money that just freely comes in every single month from the amount of real estate that they own in the areas that they operate in. So this company has a multitude of different facets of income that can come in and subsidize their failures in the entertainment industry. For them, for Disney, the entertainment industry, it's just their propaganda, right? It's whatever their message that's most important to them, they're going to put it in their movies at the time, which is why you see such a drastic shift away from familial values to whatever the fake values are that they have now. Although now, look what's happening. Now they're shifting away again, right? They shifted away from the family unit to go for the gay unit. And now that the gay unit's not working, they went for the diversity unit. Now that the diversity unit's not working, they're trying to go back to the family unit. It's like they're trying to be a chameleon, and it's obvious. Disney's making another round of changes to its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, stripping away some of the most controversial elements while maintaining a commitment to what it calls company values. In an internal memo to employees on Tuesday, Chief Human Resources Officer Sonia Coleman announced that Disney would no longer use diversity as a factor in determining managerial compensation. Why would you Why would you even use that as a factor in managerial compensation is wild to me. You are essentially admitting that you are paying your executives to hire people based off their skin color, and you mean to tell me that was supposed to somehow combat racism? You're literally asking them to be racist in order to make the most money that they could possibly make in their position at the company. How is this even allowed? How is this even legal? There's no way this could be legal, right? There's just no fucking way this could be legal. But anyway, instead, leadership evaluations will now focus on how well managers uphold company values and incorporate different perspectives. The latest move follows the quiet removal of the Reimagine Tomorrow initiatives and the Stories Matters website, two of the most publicly scrutinized aspects of Disney's DEI efforts. The company has also altered its internal employee resource groups and softened its language in content disclaimers on Disney+. All signs that Disney is trying to adjust its corporate image in response to mounting public and legal pressure. I gotta imagine that there must be an avenue for people to explore if they wanted to potentially sue Disney. If they either ever applied at Disney, perhaps you can have an argument as to why maybe you would turn down if you are a white person. These people actually admitted that they paid their executives more money based off how many non-white people and non-straight people they hired. How the hell is this legal is beyond me. You gotta have some level of lawsuit here that needs to happen, and Disney needs to pay up. It says for years, Disney embedded DEI into nearly every aspect of its corporate strategy, from hiring practices to executive bonuses. That stance has become increasingly difficult to maintain in the face of growing opposition. The Reimagine Tomorrow program, which by the way, for all the people who are like, oh, DEI hiring is totally okay. Like, it's not, it needs to happen. It needs to be a thing. You guys realize, man, you were always in the wrong. Right? Like, you guys were always in the wrong. And then some of these people are actually trying to switch up now. They're trying to pretend like to say, oh, I was never for DEI. Yeah, no, totally. I was never for DEI. I believed in these people, and I wanted to see good things happen to marginalized communities. It's like, bro, if anything changes in this world, it's never going to be because of people who sat on the fence. It's never going to be because of weak people that just went along with whatever was being said by anybody, just because they didn't want to deal with any backlash or any criticism or any kind of whatever. They didn't want to deal with it, right? The weak-minded people are not the ones that cause change. It's the people that are willing to speak out against it, regardless of how much backlash they get, regardless of how much death threats they get, regardless of anything. The ones that speak out against it, those are the ones that are going to factor in change. Those are the ones that are going to make things happen. And that's the reason why you're seeing these companies try to find out how they can essentially strategize, do what they want to do, and not get the bullshit they've been getting every single day for years now. But then it says the Reimagine Tomorrow program, which set a specific demographic quota for characters in Disney productions, drew sharp criticism and even legal action. Last year, the American First Legal Foundation filed a federal civil rights complaint against Disney, arguing that the initiative promoted hiring practices that could be considered discriminatory. Not could be. It is considered discriminatory. They actively said that they don't hire based on anything other than skin color. Skin color is the number one thing for them to hire, and then they worry about everything else after. Now, shifting with political and corporate landscapes, Disney is adjusting its strategy. The company's latest moves mirror decisions by other major corporations like McDonald's, Amazon, and Walmart, which have all rolled back DEI commitments as legal scrutiny increases under President Donald Trump's administration. And that's because, again, these companies don't actually care about the DEI portion of it. They don't care about diversity, equity, and inclusion. They only cared about what it did for them as a company. And at the beginning, yes, it was very profitable, and it was also a massive virtue signal that they can utilize as PR. But now, if you try to utilize that now in today's world, not many people are going to fall for it. Many people are going to scrutinize you for it. People of color are going to scrutinize you for it. White people are going to scrutinize you for it. A lot of people have realized that this is absolute nonsense and bullshit that these companies are trying to push to pretend as if they care. If you are seriously looking at a company and thinking that you need their validation to figure out whether or not they care about your social cause, I hope you understand how absolutely fucking weak that makes you look. I cannot believe that there's people out there that actually think companies care about them. There's not a single company out there that cares about you as a person or your social cause. They don't give a shit. And the moment they get any kind of true backlash that requires them to change tune, guess what? They're gonna change tune, which is why every single one of these companies here, including Disney as well, are all changing tune, because right now they feel like they have no choice. While Disney isn't abandoning DEI entirely, it is making these policies far less visible. Consider the following key changes. And again, it goes into managerial compensation, no longer tied to DEI, which I just cannot believe that's a thing. Content warnings are being softened. Employee groups are being rebranded. Now, this is the biggest thing, right? Employee groups being rebranded. Everybody's talking about this because even though they're supposedly giving up DEI, let it be known, they're not going to. It's ingrained in their culture. It is who they are as a company, all these companies, and they're just going to rebrand it into something else that's different that other people don't know about, and they're just going to have to find out about it, and eventually the whole rabbit hole will begin to continue again, and before you know it, whatever that rebrand is going to get a lot of backlash, and then they're going to have to rebrand again. These are people that are constantly trying to figure out ways to interject whatever their own personal ideologies are if they deem it to be profitable. And they know that by virtue signaling to people, they're going to get them on their side, and they're going to truly make these people believe that the companies care about them. And they're not going to wake up very easily so long as they continue to be indoctrinated. But at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's fair to say that I'll take this as a very, 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 very small win in the overall pool of nonsense created by this man and fostered by people under his wings. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.